Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the data pack, the Bracken Pack by Bracken. Now this data pack adds 11 custom new dimensions as well as several new bosses, items, and more. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The first new feature this data pack adds is species. You get a choice of which species you want to join through this book that you spawn in your world with. These species are similar to like Origins from the Origins mod, each one coming with their own set of bonuses and debuffs, such as the ability to teleport small distances, but being damaged by water. The first dimension that this data pack adds is the Underdark, which you get to digging down to Y -62 in the overworld, so just about the lowest level of bedrock that you can hit. You will come out and completely covered in deep slate, but once you dig out, you will discover a dark miner's paradise. This dimension has a higher chance of ores to spawn at all Y levels, meaning that you can find more diamonds and not have to dig quite so deep in this dimension to get it. There are several additional biomes, including the eroded basin, fungal forest, which can have mushrooms and mushrooms for food, and the crystal caverns, which have the highest diamond spawn rate. These biomes will have custom structures with cool new items such as portal keys and the brand new spellbooks. Different spellbooks can be found all throughout this pack and introduce new abilities for you to use. One of the more basic ones is the fireball spell, which allows you to summon a fireball which you can shoot your enemies with. These new spells can be especially useful when dealing with some of the harder mobs that this data pack adds. But they're not a piece of cake to use, and do take some getting used to. Getting below Y1 in the Nether will take you to the Sanctum, an eerie blue wasteland filled with Endermen. But be careful when you arrive here, because you will fall from the sky, meaning you're going to want to be very good at water clutches or have some slow falling potions on hand. One of the first cool things about this dimension that you'll notice is that it has a 1 to 32 dimension ratio, meaning that one block in the Sanctum is 32 in the overworld, making it an even more effective fast travel dimension than the Nether. This dimension also contains a handful of structures, from giant gears to ruined cities, which can even contain netherite ingots, as well as new mobs. But the most notable of these is the Sanctum Vault, which is a full-blown dungeon even containing an epic boss fight at the end against Project Ruination, one of the datapack's 5 main bosses. Descending below the Sanctum, you will find the Void, which is a mostly empty dimension, but there are a couple of secret structures that you can find as you descend down into the end, which is at the very bottom of the dimension layering this pack adds. So these are the dimensions that exist below the overworld. But what happens if you go up? Well, the first dimension that you will find above the overworld by building or flying up to Y313 is the Faewild. Now this place is made up of floating islands that are in a state of eternal twilight, allowing mobs to spawn at all times of the day. Here you can find cool villages as well as naturally spawning phantoms, which can be a good way to obtain phantom membranes without having to wait for 3 nights. And if you go up to Y250 in the Faewild, you will be taken to the next dimension, Pax. Pax is the heavenly dimension, and there are no naturally spawning mobs, making it a good place for peaceful players to go. Here you can find a special double tree which will spawn golden apples, and can have a species book allowing you to change your species. But the biggest thing this dimension has is the Pax Gateway, which is a portal that allows you to go to all of the dimensions added by this data pack, and that are added in vanilla. However, to get to each of these dimensions, you need a portal key, which you can obtain from that dimension in their structures. This gateway is also one of the best ways to get to the next dimension, Dormis. But if you have an elytra, you can also get to Dormis by flying to Y1550 in Pax. Dormis is a prison dimension with very hard to traverse terrain. The only real reason you'd want to come here is to challenge the boss that rules this place, the Thrall. In the Thrall's courtyard you can find the boss to challenge it and get the powerful new items it drops, including a new spellbook. Now that's the end of the stacked dimensions in this data pack, but there are several more, such as the Panacea, a swamp dimension you get by wearing a creeper head and going by a creeper, Omnidrone, a Tron-like dimension that you go by sprinting into an end crystal, or the Vark space, a fast travel dimension where every block you travel is 100 blocks in the overworld, but you can only get there by being struck by lightning. However, many of these dimensions are not quite as fleshed out, but do have planned updates for them, so I hope that they will have more to them in the future. That's it for today, and if you do want to go check out this data pack for yourself, I will link the Planet Minecraft page in the description so you can go ahead and give it a download. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!